Yo, what up, street dogs? Here, Kim. All right, another turbo thought for y'all. So the notion is great soul or petty soul. So this is the difference. A great soul is magnanimous, magnum, great, and petty literally means small. So I forget like which rap song I got this from, but the notion was, don't be petty, my friend, or don't be petty, my brother. And the basic notion is one of the few things that actually makes me really angry is when people are petty. So to me, to be petty is unworthy of humankind, mankind, whatever. And I really truly do believe that the secret to the best life possible is to be anti-petty, anti-small, anti-petite, and to be big, large, grand, strong, magnanimous, and lofty. So I think this is kind of like trained with me ever since I was a kid, where, here's my dad beating my mom mentally and physically at home, and, kids at school complaining that they didn't get the newest Xbox or whatever. And so I'm like, yo, this is like the stupidest shit ever, where, what gives you the idea to just complain about petty stuff? And truth be told, like, it ain't really people's fault that they're petty, it's just they just don't know any better. And so even in some ways, when you observe people's pettiness, it also is like, don't get too fazed by people's pettiness. But I would just say, just practical suggestions is, first for us, not to be petty. Because you can't really control the actions of others, but what you could do is you could start, distancing yourself from people who you consider petty. And whenever people try to act petty to you, don't act petty back. Be great, be magnanimous. It's like, imagine like, you're a bulldog and there's like little poodles who are just kind of like yelping at you and barking at you and trying to bite you. Obviously it's annoying, right? Your bulldog is like, yo, check out this chihuahua, right? So it's certainly annoying, but I think it's greater for the bulldog to just kind of be like, meh, whatever, it's just like a little petty chihuahua, rather than to get its jaws all, riled up from this little petty little animal. So one of my thoughts is, in life, treat yourself like you're the black eagle, you're the dragon, you're the monster, you're the great monster. And any little things that try to get at you, it's like whatever. Or like Seneca has this, visualization where you're kind of like the massive rock cliff thing, and essentially you got like all these little petty souls trying to are just like little tiny waves at the bottom trying to crash at you. So obviously you still feel it and it still might be like a little bit annoying, but for the most part you could care less about how people treat you and act and behave and stuff like that. So when you think about your life, avoid pettiness. You could avoid pettiness by, not saying petty things. When you want to be petty, I think in life the best is to delay, to procrastinate on being petty. So don't answer immediately. I've even found that one of my best solutions for my personal anger is before you, react, wait at least 24 hours before you react. So for example, there's a funny saying, I don't know if it's from Plato or not, but it's like, Plato's slave dropped something on him or something, and essentially says the gist like, ooh, that's a smoky one. So essentially Plato says to his slave something like, oh, I would beat you if I wasn't so angry. So it's kind of a funny sentiment where, you want to essentially conquer your anger, you don't want to let anger conquer you. So some other practical thoughts. So yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of like, this is where like virtue is interesting. Like the way I generally see virtue is like manliness or greatness of soul, whatever. And you know, I can't really speak for women because I'm not a woman. I'll speak for men because I'm a man. But certainly whether you're a woman or a man, you know, we could all be equally virtuous, and that means not being petty. So some thoughts, right? To wait 24 hours before reacting, this is a very practical thing that I try to do. And generally speaking, like whenever I get angry or, you know, I perceive someone's being petty with me or whatever, I'll just kind of walk on it and then just kind of meditate on that way. And you know, once again, it's very, very simple. Like the saying, sleep on it, is kind of a good one. So the next time someone says something stupid or petty to you or whatever, makes you angry, wait at least 24 hours or maybe even 48 hours or 2 days or a week or a month or several months or a year before responding to people. And this way, because like once you say something or do something, you can't take it back. And this is one thing I've also realized too, is that like, you know, even if I say one bad thing to Cindy, I'll end up regretting it for a very long time. So yeah, so it seems like the general principle in life is you don't have to react so quickly. So it, you know, one thing Nietzsche says is greatness of soul is you move slowly, react slowly, but once you make a decision, you're firm on it. And the problem about today's society is we act and react too quickly, and there's too much hyper information. So we actually don't have the time to think about things, to mull over it, to let it marinate and to let it sit and whatnot. So it does seem one of the big steps in our knowledge and our information is to let things marinate, let our ideas and thoughts marinate. Dude, aren't you loving these trees? Oh, another cool thing, since there's no cars, kind of like all these lines here make kind of a interesting composition. Like even like composition like that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good composition. So generally the gist is, you see this corner coming out this corner, line coming out that corner, line coming out that corner. So just check the corners and try to get the compositions of the corners looking good. All right, that's a good frame right there. Right. So generally speaking, when it comes to our lives, our thoughts, the way we interact and stuff like that, let us avoid pettiness. Let us realize that we are beyond pettiness. Pettiness is not something worthy of us. And the best life is the magnanimous grand life.